Champions, Runaways, Marvel Rising. I think it's time for a resurgence of the New Warriors. It's topic time.
Topic time! It's topic time.
And welcome back to Comic Frontline, everybody. I am Brant Fowler, aka the Gonzo Goose, back with you for another edition of Topic Time. And this one is all about the New Warriors. Now, if you're not familiar with the New Warriors were a popular team of young teen heroes in the 90s. And they've had several volumes. And of course, if you're familiar at all with Civil War and all that, that was kind of the catalyst. And it kind of put a black mark on the name New Warriors for all time, it seems. Except for, of course, now there's talk of this live-action comedy with adding in some of the Great Lakes Avengers like Squirrel Girl and Mr. Immortal into the mix. But we haven't heard anything about that in a while. It still could happen, though. I mean, Squirrel Girl is pretty popular, but I'm getting off track. New Warriors was one of my favorite books in the original run. It was just such a fun book, and it was these teen heroes that came from all corners of the Marvel Universe. You had Kid Nova, you had Night Thrasher, who was a brand new character, you had Speedball, who was this kind of goofy character that appeared in a lot of like the anthology books back then, and then you had two mutants with Justice and Firestar. And Firestar, of course, was the one that really pulled me into the book because I was familiar with her from Spider-Man and His Amazing Friends. And then, you know, throughout the course of the book, you also had Namorita. Throughout the course of the book, you had all kinds of other characters come in, like Turbo and Scarlet Spider and Darkhawk and various others, the Rage. And it was a really cool concept, and you had this crossover with, I think it was X-Force, because he had Sunspot and different characters like that, and it was just a cool time to be a comic fan, I think, because there was a lot of books featuring younger heroes at that time that I ate up, because I was I was a teenager at the time, so it was pretty cool. So when what happened with that team happened, it made me kind of sad, because it was like, you're killing my childhood, or my teen years. You're killing the time when I really got heavy into comics. That's when I fell in love with the medium, and this was one of the teams that brought me into it. So it was hard to watch that fall apart and be done away with and have that black mark against it. So a lot of time has passed since then, and a lot of these characters have grown and evolved and moved on, and a lot of that negative connotation from that team dynamic has kind of faded away a little bit. So with all these other teams, all these young teams coming back into the forefront, like Champions and Runaways, and what they're doing with the Marvel Rising stuff, and even the new faces of Ages of Atlas going on in War of the Realms and everything, I think it'd be a cool time to bring back the New Warriors in a new light, in a new way, and with new faces, and some old. So who would I bring back and put on this team? That is an interesting question, and I've got an interesting answer. Now, you might think, okay, well, you got to pull in some of the old team members, and I think I would. I would not bring Firestar back just because I like her finally being involved in the X-Men side of the Marvel Universe. So I would kind of let her be like, you know what, I've moved on. I'm past that, and I'm doing this now, kind of thing. So I would leave her out of it. Who I would bring back is Justice. Now, last I recall, and I could be wrong, Justice was working with the Avengers, kind of as an instructor, kind of guiding and stuff, some of the younger heroes. So what I would like to see is Justice reform the New Warriors as an Avengers sanctioned team with leadership. So it's kind of like the Justice League keeping an eye on Young Justice, or the Teen Titans, or whatever. I think that would be a cool concept, where he's kind of taking that under his wing as this project, trying to not just rekindle that name, but kind of bring it back into a positive image, and using the the rise and awareness of all these young team heroes as kind of a way to do that, kind of a way to bring some new faces into it and say, hey, this is our new mission, this is what we're making this team, because this is what I want my legacy to be, not what it is. And I think that would be a cool message. So him not really on the team, but kind of guiding the team from behind the desk in essence. Speedball I would bring back, because Speedball is comic relief. He's fun, and he's not really doing anything else. So bring him back in kind of a almost like a mentor capacity. He doesn't feel like he's qualified to lead the team. He doesn't want that responsibility and everything, but he kind of hangs around and kind of joins the team, and they kind of make fun because he's the older kid now, which is kind of weird. So that would be kind of fun, I think. And then you got to bring in some strong contenders that could lead the team, could potentially lead the team, kind of be those more mature members, guiding forces. And those I would actually bring in Squirrel Girl. You're gonna put her on the TV show, so why not? Bring her into the book as well, kind of make that connection. I like Squirrel Girl in certain doses. I don't like her in her own book, but I like her when she pops up in other things. I love her in Marvel Rising. I think she's really cool there. So if you could bring that vibe of the character into the book, kind of again as a seasoned hero that's worked with the Avengers, even though it's Great Lakes Avengers still. And I would also bring in Quake, to kind of keep the relations going. She's been a SHIELD agent. She's an Inhuman, and yeah, she's resistant to teams, but she's worked with Squirrel Girl in Marvel Rising, so there's that kind of connection. So you can bring her in, and piggybacking off of that, bring in Inferno. They have a history. They're kind of exploring that in Marvel Rising right now, so you've got that connection there, and all three of them will work together, so you already have a basis for your team, and you have new and old faces there. I would bring back Gravity. Gravity is a hero that I think is incredibly underrated and underused. We haven't seen him in quite a while, and he was part of the 50 State Initiative for a little bit, and he's popped up here and there. I think it popped up in one version of Young Avengers and so on and so forth, but we don't see a whole lot of them, and I really liked his solo series, and I think you could do something with him that's really cool. He would really fit into that New Warriors team vibe. I would bring in Gabby as a way to kind of like explore new relationships, explore new experiences, kind of get out there and kind of do her own thing and be her own person, not just Laura's sidekick. And again, she would be this fun element, and you could have her and Speedball play off each other. It would be really fun to have those two interact, and just to have her on the team. She's like their Wolverine character, and they might have to rein her in a little bit, which would be fun to see. And filling out the main part of the team, Ghost Spider. She's going to be in the 616 for a while, and I always liked New Warriors better when there was a Spider character involved. So there's your Spider character. Miles is tied up with Champions and Marvel Rising and various other things that he does. Otherwise, I would say bring in Miles, but Ghost Spider is a good addition, and you're kind of evening out the. It's like girl heavy, I get that, but you have Justice, you have Speedball, and then I have somebody else that I'm gonna cap this all off with. Prodigy. He hasn't been seen for a while. Last time I think we saw him, he was trying out for Tony Stark's security and got beat by Ant-Man. I don't know if he's popped up since then. And you know, he's a former mutant, lost his abilities in M-Day and all that stuff, had to relearn all his knowledge and skills and everything. And I think it would be cool to kind of bring him in as support, kind of as the security for the team, but there's a twist with that. I think it would be really cool, because he does have all these skills and stuff, if he was secretly the new Night Thrasher. I think that would be kind of a cool twist on it, and Night Thrasher come in and not necessarily lead the team, just kind of be a part of the team, and kind of keep that alive, and add that mystery aspect and element to it that the Night Thrasher character has always carried. And I think you could do some cool and interesting things with that. So that is the team that I would put together, and I think it's a really interesting team filled with characters that are new and old, and still relatively young and fresh, and involving a lot of different personality types and complexities of relationships and different things you could play with and different backgrounds, and you've got that cultural diversity there as well. So it's a really cool, well-rounded team, I think, that could be a lot of fun to play with. So that is my pitch for New Warriors. I'd love to hear in the comments below what you think of the concept, and who would you put on the New Warriors team now, and what would excuse me, what would your concept for the team be? I'd love to hear it in the comments below. And of course, stick around and check out all the other Topic Time videos, all the other content. Join us on Tuesdays for Frontline Live. You can, if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, hit that subscribe and notification bell so you get updates on all the other content going up to Comic Frontline. And as for me, you can follow me at Brant Fowler on Facebook and Twitter, at Last Number Press on Instagram. Until next time, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.
Topic time. It's topic time.